Subscribe if you think Alfred is the best butler in the world.
I gotta be honest with you three. This isn't looking good. All three of you are guilty of character regression. Applejack, Rainbow Dash, you two are guilty of this because despite having not one, but 2 episodes dealing with this very issue, but when the issue gets brought up again, the two of you still act like your Season 1 archetypes and disregarding the issues involving the kids you were supposed to chaperone. And Twilight? Your issue is even worse. Because not only did you have a competition in the first place with the 2 most competitive ponies in Ponyville to pressure them into the situation, but when you clearly saw it was going south, you still let them continue unrestricted. So everything that happened after that point is on you. This is not looking good for any of you. So, without further ado, this is the non-compete clause. The episode begins very promisingly as it seems to be more focused on the school environment than any episode that we got prior. Now, this is a problem that all of MLP has had in the past, making a huge major game changer to the story, but then not actually using it until much later in the series. Like Twilight becoming a princess, the birth of an alicorn, the rise of the Crystal Empire. Like, they don't really capitalize on any of this, so I'm kind of glad that they used the school so early, but it all goes downhill from here. So the main 6 gather together as Twilight presents the Teacher of the Month award going to Fluttershy, who wins every month, and this visibly upsets Rainbow and AJ. Now Twilight, why do you even have this competition to begin with? You know how hyper-competitive 2 of your staff members are. We also hear that Twilight is organizing a field trip for the students in order to work on their teamwork skills. And the 2 ponies that she has in charge chaperone is AJ and Rainbow Dash. Yeah, that field trip is doomed. So after 6 episodes since their introduction, we finally get an episode where the students actually take place in the main plot, as Twilight turns them over to Applejack and Rainbow Dash, who already are fighting about what they should be doing for their field trip. But after some negotiation, AJ gets them all to help her build a barn together. And wait a minute. Is AJ letting them use actual woodworking tools like saws and nails? I mean, they're not power tools, but there should be some sort of safety guidelines that they have to get their parents or guardians to sign before actually using them. How many rules and regulations is Twilight School breaking? And because of Rainbow Dash's hastiness, the shed falls apart. And once again, Rainbow Dash and Applejack are at each other's throats about the competition.
These students are totally gonna vote for a teacher who gets things done! No, they're gonna vote for a teacher who gets things done right!
No, they're gonna vote for the teacher who practices what they preach. It's not that hard. So then we head to Rainbow Dash's exercise, which is speed canoeing. Okay, I know that there has to be some kind of regulation for this one. Well, it's later revealed that Rainbow Dash only is trying to canoe in order to beat some sort of high-speed canoeing record. But when the student's safety is called into question, Applejack stops everyone immediately and capsizes the canoe. And that's why we have safety guidelines, people. Seriously. Naysayer may have been a racist, but he's still legit concerns about the school's safety administration. So Twilight shows up, and she sees how messed up Rainbow Dash and Applejack made this field trip. So she tries to cancel it altogether and just get the students home. Realizing that this puts their chances of winning the trophy in jeopardy, Applejack and Rainbow Dash plead to Twilight, and against any logical judgment, Twilight gives them a second chance. Okay, Twilight, let's be real here. Up until this point, this was on them. But now that you've given them a second chance, now anything that happens, that's on you. Just keep that in mind. So even after Twilight scolded them about it, the two still tried to compete with each other for the prize. But instead of being aggressively competing, they're actually both being submissive, trying to make themselves look good by doing what the other wants. So without a clear leader in mind, the group ends up lost in the woods.
Oh, this really is a cringy episode.
Well, they make their way to a cliff where they can see the school in the distance, and rather than doing the intelligent thing by flying over there with all their members, since half of them have wings, they decide to build a bridge using the materials that the other suggested, which results in a massive mess. Applejack and Rainbow Dash almost fall to their deaths, and it's up to the children to save the day. Okay, can someone explain to me why the students are more qualified to teach these lessons of teamwork than the main characters? God, this is dangerous levels of stupidity! So AJ and Rainbow Dash both admit that they were in the wrong, and they managed to get back to the school in order for everyone to learn the lesson of the day. And from what I learned, Twilight and her friends are completely unqualified to be running a school like this. This episode genuinely makes me mad. Like, it's not only guilty of repeating the same lesson that we already learned twice, but it's also guilty of character regression. The crap that Rainbow Dash and Applejack were pulling on each other this episode is what I expect from Season 1, not Season 8. And the fact that they put the students in danger multiple times is also a crime on them. They should be dismissed. But the one who's most at fault here is Twilight Sparkle, for not only tempting both Rainbow Dash and Applejack with that trophy to begin with, but also allowing them to continue when it was pretty evident that it was not working out. I don't like it when I have to be negative in these reviews, but this episode deserves my wrath. The way you three were portrayed in this episode was almost criminal. And honestly, I think criminals deserve some form of punishment. Now, I could do something silly or cartoonish like you, Rainbow Dash, I could make you wear a turtle outfit. Or I could make you, AJ, eat a barrel of oranges or something like that. But instead of my usual methods, I figure divine punishment is best suited in this case. Yeah, bet y'all didn't know I had the princess on Skype. I'm the Cartoon Gentleman, and I brought you organized chaos.